Alpha Day, I'm Nestor LeConte with the Pacific Daily News. Here are our top stories from the PDN Newsroom. Figuring out how many schools the Guam Department of Education should close or keep is a difficult balance, with a decline in local school students weighing against the anticipated influx of kids as the military buildup swells the island's population. But GDOE Superintendent Eric Swanson said it's not the children of military personnel, but those of civilian contractors working for the Department of Defense that could fill up local public schools. GDOE has to weigh a student population that's dropped from 31,593 to 24,322 in the past 10 years against the possibility of absorbing a glut of military-connected kids. Most recent estimates see the military population on Guam increasing by 15,500 by 2037. Dodea Pacific Public Affairs Officer Miranda Ferguson in November told the PDN that Dodea had no current plans to build a new school on Guam. In other news, the Port Authority of Guam's Board of Directors on Friday passed a resolution authorizing management to begin preparations for a new round of multi-million-dollar bond borrowing. Rory Respicio, Port General Manager, received the board's general authorization to work with the Governor's Office and the Legislature on legislation authorizing the port to secure a bond to fund strategic capital improvements that would help ensure the port's military readiness and natural disaster readiness, he said. Port Board member Conchita Taitano cited the need to replace a critical gantry crane by next year, the lingering impacts of Typhoon Mawar, and the effects of climate change on the port as reasons for the new borrowing. Arrivals to Guam, mostly tourists from Korea and Japan, are still only 49%, or about half of what they used to be prior to the pandemic, and there's no telling yet how many more years it would take to even get close to full recovery. Between October 2023 and April 2024, or the first 7 months of fiscal 2024, arrivals to Guam reached 470,902, while that's higher by nearly 29% compared to the same period in fiscal 2023. That's still down by more than 50% compared to the pre-pandemic fiscal 2019 level of 952,696, based on the latest preliminary data from the Guam Visitors Bureau. If the monthly arrivals continue at the current rate, Guam's overall fiscal 2024 numbers could still end up at 50% of what it used to be prior to the pandemic, or in the 800,000 range. For the past decade prior to the pandemic, annual arrivals to Guam were at 1.3 million to 1.6 million and peaked in fiscal 2019, the year before COVID. In other news, between $1,000 and $5,000 are available for daycare center employees, early childhood teachers, and similar workers who successfully apply for a newly launched grant. The 2024 Early Childhood Workforce Retention Grant applications start Tuesday, June 4th and end on July 5th. The Guam Economic Development Authority and the Department of Public Health and Social Services Division of Children's Wellness said the grants support those who work directly with children. They include child care center directors, lead and assistant child care providers, Head Start program teachers, early childhood special education teachers, and pre-kindergarten teachers, among others. For more on these stories, go to GuamPDN.com and follow us on social media.